Hello everyone, if you are live and online for the session, please say hi in the chat window so that we can start the session. Hi Pratibha. Hi Mary, hi Pratibha. So let us wait for 1 more minute because it is 12:04. We will start at 12:05. हम 12:05 पर start करेंगे. So let us wait for everyone to join in the session. Hi Nisha. I'm good. How are you? Hi Vandana. Okay, so let us start. Now in this session, as the title of the video says, we are going to discuss about the simplification of context-free grammars, which is CFGs. So we'll be discussing about simplifications of context-free grammars. Okay, and what is this simplification? What do we do with the help of this simplification? So basically, just like you have a finite automata, and there's a finite automata which is much bigger, right? So you can minimize that finite automata. There exists an algorithm. Using that algorithm, you can minimize that finite automata. In the same way, when we try to do simplification of a context-free grammar, in that case again we are trying to minimize the given grammar. हम उस grammar को minimize करने की कोशिश करते हैं by removing some useless productions, by removing some useless symbols and so on. So we are trying to minimize that given grammar. Okay. So as you can see here, we will be doing 3 major tasks here. For simplification of a context-free grammar, we need 3 major tasks here. So the first task is the removal of useless symbol. Removal of useless symbols. The second task here, it will be the elimination of epsilon productions. Elimination of epsilon productions. Okay, and then third will be elimination of unit productions. Okay, so that is removal of unit productions. Okay, so we are going to do these 3 important tasks when we will try to minimize a context-free grammar. So कौन कौन से task है आपके पास? The first task is your removal of useless symbol. The second task will be the elimination of epsilon production, and the third task will be removal of unit productions. So we have to do all these 3 tasks so that we can minimize a given context-free grammar. आपके पास कोई भी context-free grammar है, to minimize that grammar, we will be doing all these 3 tasks. Is that clear है सबको? Now here we will be taking all of these 3 tasks one by one. So first of all, we will be discussing about the removal of useless symbols. Removal of useless symbols, we'll be discussing about this. Okay, so write it down. Any symbol is useful. Any symbol is useful if it appears on the right hand side. If it appears on the right hand side in the production rule. If it appears on the right hand side in the production rule and generates some terminal string. if no such derivation exists, then it is supposed to be a useless symbol. So basically, if using the help of a symbol means it is a variable, if using a variable, if you can derive a string, then we can say that variable is useful. Otherwise we say the variable is useless. Okay, let me give you some examples. Let me go with the basics example first. So let us assume that we have a grammar which is s derives 0t slash 1t slash x slash 0 slash 1, and here we have t derives 00. This is your grammar. Okay, I think it is not visible. Let me change the marker. So in this case, you can see what are the variables. So variables are s, t and x, and what are the terminals? Terminals is 0 and 1. Now from this we can say a symbol is useless if you cannot derive a string from that symbol. That means if I have a symbol, right, so you can say it, if we have some production like s derives something, right, alpha, beta, gamma, s derives something, alpha, beta, gamma, and using this somehow you will be able to create a string, then we can say s is useful. अगर आप किसी सिंबल से किसी तरीके से स्ट्रिंग को जनरेट कर सकते हैं, कोई स्ट्रिंग जनरेट हो सकती है, then we can say it is useful. Otherwise we can say that symbol is useless. जैसे कि in this case here we have three symbol which is s, t and x. So here t is directly deriving a string. यहाँ पर क्या t जो है directly 00 को derive कर रहा है, which is a terminal. And here s is also directly deriving some 0 as well as 1. S can also derive t and t can also derive 0, 0. So basically s and t both are useful, but if you see here the symbol x, there is no production related to x. X से related कोई भी production नहीं है, so we can say x is useless. In this example, the symbol x is useless. Why? Because first of all there is no definition given for x, and secondly we can say from x we cannot derive a string. So in this production we can change it to s derives 0t slash 1t slash 0 slash 1, where t can derive 00. So now we can say these two symbols are useful. तो हम बोल सकते हैं जो दो symbols हैं ये useful है. So basically whenever I say a symbol is useful, it means you should be able to derive string from it. If you cannot derive a string from a symbol or a variable, then we can say that variable is useless. Let me take more examples. So I'm taking these examples from this Puntam Baker book. I told you the book, that is Puntam Baker. I sent you some of the questions in the Telegram group in the morning itself. I sent you some photos and screenshots of this, so that you can also open that in your mobile phone. So Telegram group में आपको सुबह आज morning पे I sent you a PDF file. You can have a look at the PDF file. That PDF file is containing the same questions which are discussed here, right? So you can open that parallelly with you. Okay. So here let me take this example. So let us say the production rules are as follows. S can derive a 11b slash 11a. Then we have s can derive let me check. So here I think there's some printing mistake, I should say, but so s can derive b slash 11, and a can derive 0, and b can derive b. Okay, now in this case, so there might be some printing mistake in the book. You can also check in the PDF file that I sent you. Now in this complete example, you will find out that the variables here, they are s, a and b. These are three variables, and the terminals in this case, they are 0 as well as 1. There are two terminals which is 0 and 1. Now in this case we have to identify, is there any string, any symbol from which you cannot derive a string? क्या ऐसा कोई symbol है जहाँ से आप कोई string नहीं बना सकते? That is something we have to identify. Now there are two ways for this. There are two ways. So one is a shortcut manner that I will tell you कि shortcut manner क्या है. Second is the long cut manner. Long cut manner is basically you will try and see if I'm using that variable, can I derive a string whatsoever. So here you can see, if you generate s, from s you can generate 11a, and this A can be replaced by 0. So from S you can generate 110. So that means from S you can generate a string. As well as from A you can directly generate a 0. But if you look at the symbol B, B is generating double B, and B can never be eliminated from this. So basically B is a useless, right? So this is the basic concept, right? So the basic concept is very simple. Try and generate strings from each of these variables, and if you cannot generate, then we can say it is useless, right? So it is try and generate strings from each variable, and if you cannot generate, then we can say that it is useless. तो हम उस केस में बोल सकते हैं that this is useless. But the second way is to find some method using which you can say what are the useful symbol and what are the useless symbol. So let us see that method. It is important here. So you are going to make a set which is useful symbol set. So what are the symbols that are useful? So this method is important because using this method you will be able to solve 99% of the questions. So it is very easy. What you are going to do is, first of all, create a set of useful symbols. How will you identify a useful symbol? So every terminal symbol is always useful. जितने भी terminal symbol हैं, terminal symbols हमेशा useful होते हैं. So every terminal symbol is always useful. So here, first of all, I'm going to write 0 as well as I'm going to write 1. 0 and 1 is always useful. Now, look at the right hand side of every production and look at and try to see, is there any production where the right hand side is only made up of these two? यानी कि आप सबकी राइट हैंड साइड पे चेक करो और चेक करो कि क्या किसी की राइट हैंड साइड पर सिर्फ ये दोनों सिंबल में से कोई एक सिंबल है या फिर कोई भी सिंबल है. क्या कोई ऐसी राइट हैंड साइड है जो कि सिर्फ इन दो सिंबल के कॉम्बिनेशन से बनी है? सो इज देयर एनी राइट हैंड साइड व्हिच इज मेड अप ऑफ द कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ दीज टू ओनली, राइट? So you will feel that only this production is here whose right hand side is made up of only 0. Okay, otherwise here also from S you can see that this production here is only made up of these two, as well as in A this production is only made up of these two. So you can say A and S are also useful. A and S भी हमारे पास useful हो गए. Now try and see, we have 4 symbols which are useful. Now try and see, is there any right hand side of any production which is made up of only these 4 symbols? If is there any right hand side which is made up of only these 4 symbols, then we can say the left hand side is also useful. For example, here for S the right hand side is made up of A, 1, 1, B. But in this case A is proven to be useful but B is not yet proven to be useful. So from S we have 1, 1, A. So 1, 1, A. So 1, 1, A is already present here. So we can say S is also useful, but we already know that S is useful. But if you see this production B, the right hand side of this production B is having B only. It is not made up of any combination of these 4. So we can say B is useless. So we know what are the useful symbols, and now we know what are the useless symbols. So what I can do is I can remove all the productions which are having useless symbols. So I have to remove this production which is B. I'm going to remove it, and if there's any production whose right hand side is only having B, so I'm going to remove those productions also. I'm going to remove this, as well as I'm also going to remove this. So after removal of these productions, your entire grammar will look something like this, which is S can derive 1, 1, A or 1, 1, and A can derive 0. So this entire grammar can also be minimized to this format. तो इस ग्रामर को हम इस फॉर्मेट में मिनिमाइज कर सकते हैं. इतना क्लियर है? Now you should try and make sure whenever you are trying to do simplification of a context free grammar, even if you are trying to do removal of useless symbol, even if you are trying to do elimination of epsilon production, or even if you are trying to do removal of unit production, our aim is to change the grammar, our aim is to minimize the grammar or simplify the grammar, but the only condition is the meaning of the grammar should not change. Even if you are performing elimination of epsilon production, the meaning of the grammar should not change. Even if you are doing removal of unit production, the meaning of the grammar should not change. जो grammar का meaning है वो change नहीं होना चाहिए. इतना clear है सबके साथ? I hope this much is clear. Let me take one more example here. So again you can find the same example at example number 3.72. Okay, so in this example we have S can derive AB / CA then we have B can derive BC slash AB, then we have A can derive A, C can derive AB slash B. So this is your grammar, and we have to identify whether what are the symbols which are useless in this grammar. ऐसे कौन कौन से symbol है जो इस grammar में useless है. So what we are going to do is step number 1 is find the useful symbol. ऐसे कितने symbol हैं जो यहाँ पर useful है. So in this grammar you can see what are the variables. Variables S, B, A and C. There are 4 variables, and what are the terminals? We have 2 terminals which is small a and small b. So in case of useful, currently all the terminal symbols are always useful. So small a and small b will always be useful. ये जो है हमेशा ये useful रहेंगे. Okay. Now, is there any right hand side of the production which is made up of only small a and small b? क्या ऐसी कोई production है जिसकी right hand side सिर्फ small a और small b से बनी है? And then you will identify, yes, the right hand side of this production is only made up of small a, as well as the right hand side of this production is only made up of small b. So you can say small a and small c, they are also useful. जो A और C है वो भी useful है. Now you have 4 useful symbols now, which is small a, small b, capital A and capital C, where capital A and C are variables and small a and small b are terminals. Now look at the right hand side of any production which is made up of only these 4. क्या किसी की right hand side है जिसमें सिर्फ इनमें चारों में से कोई आता हो? So you can see that the right hand side of S, this is only made up of these 4. So which is AC. AC is made up of only these 4. So we can say S is also useful. Start symbol is also useful. Okay. Now again look at the right hand side. So because we know that S is useful, A is useful, C is useful, just check for B. Is the right hand side is only made up of these 5? क्या इसकी right hand side में सिर्फ इनमें से ये 5 है? And then you will identify the right hand side is not made up of these 5, because here we have B and here we have B. We know A and C are useful, but we do not know whether B is useful or not. So we can say that this is the only set which is the useful set. So this production is not useful. So I'm going to remove this production, and anywhere we have capital B, I'm going to remove all those productions also. So here I can remove this, and here I can remove this. Correct? So why I've removed? Because even if you follow this path, even if you try to explore this path, you will never be able to generate B. अगर आप you will not never be able to generate a string. अगर आप S से AB वाले path को follow करेंगे तो आपको कभी भी कोई string generate नहीं कर पाएंगे. That is why we can say we can remove this production. So after this entire grammar will look something like this, which is S can derive CA, where A can derive small a and C can derive small b. So this is your grammar, which is a simplified grammar as compared to the original grammar. तो original grammar का एक simplified version है. Clear है सबको? Is it clear? So let me take more examples now. तो कुछ और examples लेता हूँ so that it will become much better now. So you can note it down in your notebook, or you can also ask questions if you have any question. So let us take more examples for this. We have the following. The grammar is as follows. S can derive xy slash 0, where x can derive 1. It is very easy, right? So this is something that you can easily do. Then we have second grammar is S can derive slash small a capital A slash small b capital B, where capital A can derive small a slash small a, and capital B can derive small b, and D can derive AB slash EA, and E can derive AC slash D. So this is the grammar that you have. So these are 2 examples. I have more examples also. Let me write more other examples also. बाकी examples को भी लिख देता हूँ so that we can take all of them one by one. So we have S can derive A capital S slash capital A slash C, where capital A can drive small a, where capital B can drive double A, and you have capital C which is driving A, C and B. And then we have this one which is S can derive AA slash A slash B, B slash CC, where capital A can drive AB, capital B can drive A slash AA, and capital C can drive C, CD, and capital D can drive triple D. Okay, so let us take these 4 examples here one by one. I hope after these 4 examples all your doubts will be clear. So in the first example you can see, let me just use some ink marker, sir. So in the first example, you can see that we have S can drive xy slash 0 and x can drive 1. So directly in this example, we can directly say that y is not useful because y is not defined at all. So y को हमने define ही नहीं किया, so how can y be useful? If we take the second example, so here we know what are the variables. Variables is S, A, B, D and E. So these are the variables. And what are the terminals here? So we have small a as well as small b. These are the terminal symbols. तो आपके पास 2 terminal symbol है यहाँ पर, small a और small b. Now in this case, if you identify first of all what are the useful symbol, ऐसे कितने symbol हैं जो कि यहाँ पर useful है? What are the useful symbols? So we know that small a is useful. We know that small b is useful because terminal symbols are always useful. Now, so obviously this entire xy can be deleted. You are right, Pratibha. So entire xy can be deleted, and because we do not really need xy, so this entire can also be deleted. So xy is also removed, so x can also be removed, so x can directly generate 0. So this entire can be converted to s can directly generate 0. So actually this was very easy example. So I skipped it, किस तरीके से I should say it. Subconsciously I skipped it. I know that y can be deleted, so obviously x should also be deleted. Okay. So look at this one. Now here a and b, they are useful. जो small a और small b है दोनों useful है. Now is there any right hand side which is made up of only a, small a and small b? So you can see. So by the way, here we have d also. Here d is also a variable. Let me just check again the book. So here we have small a. Let me check which example is it. What are the variables? So here we have a, small b and d. These are 3 variables. Small a, small b and d. Now here d is also there. Now is there any right hand side which is made up of only these 3? So we will find out the right hand side of a is only made up of a, as well as the right hand side of e is only made up of d. So we know that a and e are useful. Is there any right hand side which is made up of only these 6? क्या किसी की right hand side सिर्फ इन 6 से बनी है? Yes, the right hand side of S is only made up of small a. So we can say S is also useful. Start symbol is also useful. Now is there any right hand side which is made up of these 6? क्या किसी की right hand side सिर्फ इनसे बनी है? Yes, D की जो right hand side है वो AB से बनी है. Therefore we can say D is also useful. Now we know S is useful, A is useful, D is useful, E is useful. Is B useful? So you will find out that B is not useful because B can never generate a string. So these are the useful symbols. So wherever we have a B, we are going to remove all of them. So I can remove this entire production. I can remove this entire thing. So after removing them, I should get a grammar which is S can drive small a capital A, where capital A is driving small a capital A slash small a. And then we have D can drive small b b slash EA, and E can drive small a c slash D. But there's one more interesting thing in this case. यहाँ पर एक और interesting चीज़ है. What is that interesting thing is that you can never reach D and you can never reach E. आप S से you can only reach to this production which is A. So after removing these useless symbols, still you will identify D and E cannot be reached. Therefore, these two productions can also be removed. So this entire grammar can be actually minimized to this grammar, which is S can derive small a capital A and A can derive small a capital A slash A. So this entire grammar can be minimized to this. So you can see D and E is removed, B is removed, only S and A. These are useful symbols, only these two should be present. Now if you look at this example here, so again we have to identify first of all what are the useful symbols. So useful symbols are small a and small b. These are useful because they are terminal symbols. Is there any right hand side which is made up of these two? You will see the right hand side of A is only made up of these two. The right hand side of B is also made up of these two. So we can say A and B is also useful. Is there any right hand side which is made up of these four? You will see the right hand side of A, S is also made up of A. Therefore we can say S is also useful. So we know S is useful, A is useful, B is useful. Can I say C is useful? So you will see the right hand side is not made up of these five. So you can say C is not useful. So from C you will never be able to generate a string. So I should remove this. I should remove this. So after removing that, I will get a production which is S can derive A capital S slash capital A. From A you can derive small a. From B you can derive double A. But again there is one more condition here, one more new case is occurring, which is that B is not reachable from start symbol. तो आप start symbol से B तक कभी नहीं पहुंच सकते. Therefore we are going to remove B also. So B should also be removed from this grammar. Okay. So this entire grammar can be minimized to this, which is S can derive small a capital S slash capital A, where A can derive small a. Now this is the last example here, and again the last example just try to identify what are the useful symbols. So we know small a, small b, small c and small d. These are the terminal symbols here, and all the terminal symbols are useful. Now is there any right hand side which is made up of these terminal symbols only? Yes, the right hand side of b is made up of a, so I can say b is also useful. Now the right hand side of a is made up of small ab, therefore a is also useful. And the right hand side of S is also made up of small a, so we can say S is also useful. But the right hand side of C is made up of small c, capital C and D. So we do not know whether C is useful or not, but this D here is actually generating a string, therefore D is also useful. So we know that S is useful, A is useful, B is useful, D is useful, but the right hand side of C is made up of small c, capital C and D. So small c and capital D I know, but this C cannot be removed. So hence this C is a useless production. So I can remove this production. I have to remove this production. Is anywhere else they have this? Right. So your entire grammar will change to something like this, which is S can derive small a capital A slash capital B small b. Then capital A can derive small a capital B can derive small a slash capital A small a, and D can derive triple D. But again you can see D is not reachable from the start symbol, so I can remove this D also. तो मैं यहाँ पर D को भी remove कर सकता हूँ. Clear है? So this is how you can remove the useless symbols. तो इस तरीके से आप जितने भी useless symbol है आप सबको remove कर सकते हैं. Any doubt so far? Is there any doubt so far? Good. So we have done removal of useless symbols. Now again this is the next part here where I'm going to remove the epsilon production. So now in this case we are going to study this, that is removal of epsilon productions. So what are epsilon productions? So basically sometimes the language does not have an epsilon symbol, but the grammar contains an epsilon symbol. Then we have to remove those productions. Let me give you some examples. Let us suppose that we have languages W such that length of W is exactly 2. where summation is equal to a comma b. Now for this language, I can give a grammar. I can also give this regular expression, which is a plus b dot a plus b. So here you can say S can derive capital A, where capital A dot capital A, where capital A can derive small a slash small b. So because this language does not contain an epsilon symbol, therefore this grammar here, it should also not have any epsilon symbol. If we have a grammar like this, which is S can derive a dot b, where a can derive small a slash b and b can derive epsilon, right? So you can look at this entire grammar. So we'll identify this grammar and this grammar both are exactly the same. Why? Because both the grammars are generating exactly the same string. दोनों grammar से आप एक ही तरह की string को generate कर पा रहे हैं. So you can see both the grammars are exactly the same, right? But the problem here is, in this grammar we have a symbol b, which is an unnecessary symbol because it is generating an epsilon production. Epsilon production means any variable which is directly generating an epsilon symbol is called as a epsilon production. कोई भी ऐसा variable है जो कि directly एक epsilon symbol को generate कर रहा है, हम उस variable को बोलते हैं epsilon production. Okay, so here this variable b is directly generating epsilon, so we can say this variable b is a epsilon production. This entire is a epsilon production, and here I want to remove all these epsilon production. जितनी भी epsilon production है हम उसको remove करना चाहते हैं. But again the fact remains the same. If your language contains an epsilon symbol, then you cannot remove. जैसे कि if I say that we have the language is w such that length of w is less than or equal to 2. So in this case the strings that will be present in this language will be epsilon, single a, single b, double a, ab, ba and bb. So in this language, because this language contains an epsilon symbol, right? So I cannot really remove the epsilon production. So how can this language contain epsilon symbol? This can contain an epsilon symbol if the start symbol is having epsilon. अगर आपका जो start symbol है उसमें epsilon है, then we can say the language is containing epsilon, right? So for example, the regular expression for this is epsilon plus a plus b dot epsilon plus a plus b. This is the regular expression. So I can say I can represent this entire with a. I can also represent this entire with a. So your grammar stays like this. S can derive double a, where this a can derive epsilon slash a slash b. This is your grammar. But the problem here is, just like here, अगर यहाँ पर आपके पास एक production थी b, and this b production was containing an epsilon symbol, and I know that b is useless. So here also, because a is generating an epsilon, so I might feel like this is also useless production, I can remove it. But again, if you remove this production, so the meaning of the entire grammar should not change. यानी कि जो string पहले generate हो रही थी, the same string you should be able to generate now also. So basically, if you are going to remove a, here if you are going to remove b, then you have to remove all the productions where b was there, right? So I mean, you have to remove all this production, but in such a way that the meaning of the grammar should not change. So here also what you are going to do is, I'm going to remove this production, but wherever we have a I'm going to put it there, right? So अगर जैसे यहाँ पर ये दोनों a थे आपके पास, if I remove both the a's by epsilon, so I can say this grammar can also be changed like this. S can derive capital A. So if I remove this a by epsilon, so it will be single a. If I remove this a by epsilon, this will be again single a. If I remove both of them with epsilon, so it will be epsilon. And a can derive small a slash small b. So this will be your grammar. Now you will see this original grammar and this grammar both are actually generating the same string. But the fact is here, because s is generating an epsilon symbol directly, so I can directly say the language contain epsilon symbol. अगर आपका start symbol जो है वो directly epsilon को generate कर रहा है, तो इसका मतलब है हम कह सकते हैं कि language में epsilon already exist करता है. But अगर start symbol epsilon generate नहीं कर रहा है, if there's some other symbol which is generating epsilon, in that case I'm not sure whether the epsilon is present in the language or not. So here I have to modify in such a way, if the language contains epsilon, then start symbol should generate epsilon, otherwise nobody else should generate epsilon. This is the meaning of removal of epsilon production. So let us take few examples here. So this is the first example where s is generating x, y, x, where x is generating 0x slash epsilon and y is generating 1y slash epsilon. Okay, now look at it more carefully, because this is important. ये important है. Why it is so important is because people tend to make lot of mistakes. अब जो ज़्यादा जो students है वो से काफ़ी confused हो जाते हैं and they tend to make lot of mistakes here. So just look at it more carefully as compared to the previous one. Previous one was very easy. This becomes little complicated somehow. Okay. So first of all, identify, is there any epsilon production here? क्या यहाँ पर कोई epsilon production है? Then we'll say yes, there are some epsilon production, which is x is directly generating epsilon. This is one epsilon production. दूसरी y is directly generating epsilon. तो x जो है वो डायरेक्टली एप्सिलॉन को जनरेट कर रही है, तो वो एक एप्सिलॉन प्रोडक्शन है, और y जो है डायरेक्टली एप्सिलॉन को जनरेट कर रही है, दैट इज आल्सो अनदर एप्सिलॉन प्रोडक्शन. नाउ माय एम इज आई हैव टू रिमूव दिस डायरेक्ट एप्सिलॉन प्रोडक्शंस, बट अगेन द मीनिंग ऑफ द ग्रामर शुड नॉट चेंज. ग्रामर का जो मीनिंग है वो चेंज नहीं होना चाहिए. सो व्हाट आई विल बी डूइंग इज, इफ आई हैव टू रिमूव दिस प्रोडक्शन, अगर मुझे एक्स्ट्रा एप्सिलॉन को रिमूव करना है, in that case wherever we have epsilon I'm going to write those terms with x and without x. तो जिस टर्म में x है, because this x can be replaced by epsilon, so we get yx, right? And this x can be replaced by epsilon, again we get 0. So wherever we have x, I can remove those x by epsilon. So what I'm trying to do is, if I am going to remove this x derives epsilon, so wherever we have x, I am going to write those terms with x and without x. उन सभी टर्म को हम x के साथ भी लिखेंगे और x के बिना भी लिखेंगे. Okay. So let us remove x derives epsilon first. I am not removing y derives epsilon. So I am just trying to remove x derives epsilon. So if you have production, s can derive, we have x, y and x. This is the production. So what I want to do is, I can write this production without the first x and with the first x. Then I can write the production without the second x and with the second x. Again I can write the production without both of them, so that the meaning of the grammar should not change. So it will be x by x, where this x can be removed by epsilon, so it will be yx. If this x is removed by epsilon, so it will be xy. If both of these x are removed by, replaced by epsilon, so we get only y. And here we have x can derive 0x, so I'm going to write 0x as well as just 0. Why I'm writing 0 is because this x can also be replaced by epsilon, and then I have this epsilon right now, and then we have y is deriving 1 by slash epsilon. Now after writing all of them, I can just remove this production which is x can derive epsilon. तो मैंने इस production को यहाँ से remove कर दिया, which is x can derive epsilon. Now because we have removed epsilon from x, we have second term which is y, and we have to remove epsilon from y also. So that means wherever we have a term which is having y, so I have to write those terms with y and without y. Okay, so I can write s can derive, so in the first term we have x, y, x. So here if I replace this y by epsilon, so we get double x, If you look at this term which is yx, if I remove this y by epsilon, so we get only y, x, and in this term which is xy, here if I write this term without y, so I get only x, but I have already written x. तो यहाँ पर अगर इस टर्म में से मैं y को रिमूव करता हूँ तो मेरे पास सिर्फ x आएगा जो मैं ऑलरेडी लिख चुका हूँ. So the last term is only y. So if I remove this y by epsilon, so I should get epsilon in the start symbol. Now we have x can derive 0x slash 0, y can derive 1y slash 1 slash epsilon, but again I have to remove this epsilon. So after removing this epsilon, I get these strings. So here the entire grammar changes to this, which is x can derive xyx slash double x slash yx slash xy slash x, and x can derive 0x slash 0 and y can derive 1y slash 1. But the thing is, because start symbol is generating epsilon, so I have to write epsilon here also. So this is your entire grammar without the epsilon production. Just have a look at it and ask if you have any doubt. So here I think I missed a term which is y, so y should also be written here. तो y यहाँ पर भी आना चाहिए, so this y should also be here. तो y जो है वो यहाँ पर भी आना चाहिए. So we get a term which is xy, which is xyx, which is double x, which is yx, which is xy, which is x, which is y, and epsilon. So these are the terms that I should get. Now the problem is the book, in book itself it is given wrong. अगर आप इसमें book का आंसर चेक करेंगे, in your book your answer in the start symbol S they are not giving epsilon. तो start symbol S में उन्होंने epsilon नहीं दिया है. They should have given epsilon because the epsilon should not be removed from the start symbol. The grammar contains, the language represented by the grammar contain epsilon. तो यहाँ पर start symbol में epsilon आना चाहिए. Okay. Let me take more examples so that we will be able to follow it more clearly. See, even if I make mistake, you can tell me, but again, because I'm taking multiple examples, so obviously you will be able to understand everything. I mean, you will be able to catch my mistakes also. Sometimes I make mistakes, a lot of mistakes, if I'm not focused, and you can catch my mistakes. So I have more examples here. So let me write these examples. We have A can derive 0b1 slash 1b1, where B is deriving 0b slash 1b slash epsilon. Then we have another example, which is S can derive small a slash capital AB slash small a capital BA, and we have capital A is driving B slash epsilon, and we have B is driving small b slash capital A. Then we have a next example, which is S can derive XY and capital X can drive ZB, where Y is driving BW, where Z is driving AB, and W is driving Z, and A is driving small a capital A slash BA slash epsilon, and B is capital B small a slash capital B small b slash epsilon. This is your grammar. So we got three grammars here, and we have to remove the epsilon productions from these three grammars. So let us take the first example here. So in the first example, your start symbol is A, and the start symbol A is not generating epsilon, but your symbol B is generating epsilon. So we have to remove this production. So what I'm going to do is, wherever we have this capital B, I'm going to write those productions with B and without B. So what I can do is, I can write the first production, which is A can drive 0b1, so that is with B, and without B it is 0 1, as well as which is 1b1, and without B this will become 1 1. Okay, and then we have B. So B is driving 0b, so without B it will be 0, and which is 1b, and without B it will be 1. So this is your entire production where we have A and B. Now look at the second case here. So here A is generating epsilon. जो यहाँ पर है वो A generate कर रहा है epsilon को, ठीक है? So we have S can drive small a. Here we have capital A. So I have to write this production with capital A and without capital A. So this is capital AB slash small b, correct? Because I have to write it without capital A also. And then we have A capital B A. Fine. See, you will identify later on also, because B is actually generating A also. So there is a possibility that B can also generate epsilon. So again I have to verify that also. तो हमें उसको verify भी करना पड़ेगा. Okay. Yes, it is an important topic. So now we have capital A, which is generating B slash epsilon, and this is the production that we have to remove. And then we have capital B can derive small b slash and this is A, and without A it will be epsilon. But again you will identify, because this B can directly generate epsilon, so we have to remove this B also from this entire case. तो हमें जहाँ पर भी capital B है, because capital B can also generate an epsilon, so we have to remove capital B also. So again this entire production can also be modified, because we have to remove this production. So this is S can generate small a slash AB slash B slash A capital B A slash double A, because with B and without B. Again capital A is generating B and B is generating small b slash A slash epsilon, and this epsilon we can remove. So this will be your entire grammar without any epsilon production. So in this grammar we do not have epsilon in the start symbol, so that means the language presented by the grammar is not containing epsilon. Now there's something interesting that came up in this case, that we know that A is generating an epsilon, and if there's any right hand side of any production which is only containing A, then we can say that is also an production which is an epsilon production. जैसे यहाँ से A epsilon generate कर रहा है, B A को generate कर रहा है, therefore B can also generate epsilon. So we have to remove that production also. So next time whenever we have to solve the questions, we have to make sure that is any production whose right hand side is epsilon, or is any production whose right hand side is a production which is generating an epsilon. So these things can also go it this way. So let us solve this one. So in this third example here, we have epsilon in A as well as we have epsilon in B. Okay, so by the way, here there is no symbol which is unreachable. Here also there is no symbol which is unreachable, so I am not checking for that. Okay, so all the symbols here in both the cases are unreachable. Now here A and B, they are generating epsilon. So is there any right hand side which is made up of these two only? So we'll see that right hand side of Z is only made up of A and B. So basically Z is also generating epsilon. Now is there any right hand side which is also containing only Z? So we can see W. The right hand side of W is only containing Z, so therefore we can say W is only also generating epsilon. So we know now B can generate epsilon, A can generate epsilon, W can generate epsilon, Z can generate epsilon, and then we already know that B can generate epsilon and W can generate epsilon, therefore Y can also generate epsilon. तो यहाँ पर Y के साथ भी epsilon generate होगा. So you see there are a lot of possibility here. In this case we have a lot of possibility because there are so many terms which are generating epsilon, and there is a lot of possibility of simplifying this given grammar. तो यहाँ पर simplify करने की बहुत ज़्यादा possibility है. So but again for simplicity purpose let me go step by step. So I'll generate each and write each and everything by removing one symbol at a time. I'm going to write multiple iterations here, but you can also do it in one go. So for example I can solve the question in this question one go, but I'll try and do something. I'll try to solve it in the complete manner, and then I'll solve the same problem in a shortcut manner. Okay. So we know directly that A is generating epsilon. हमें पहले से पता है A epsilon को generate कर रहा है. So wherever we have a A, I'm going to write those productions with A and without A. So we get X can derive XY, where X can derive ZB, where Y can derive BW, where Z can derive AB. Now I'm going to write this production which is AB with A and without A. So here we get capital B, and then we have W can derive Z, and then we have A can derive. So here small a capital A, I'm going to write with A and without A. Then we have small b capital A, so I'm going to write with A and without A. And then we have epsilon. So I have to remove this production, so I'm just going to remove it. And then we have B, which is deriving BA slash BB slash epsilon. Now this epsilon is removed from A. So in first step I have removed epsilon from production A. तो A से हमने epsilon को remove किया. Now in the next step I'm going to remove epsilon from the production B. So अब B production से epsilon को remove करेंगे. So how will you do it? You can say S can derive XY, where X can derive ZB, Y can derive BW. So because we have to remove epsilon from B, so I have to write this production with B and without B. So this is going to be W only. Now we have Z can derive AB slash B. So I have to write both the productions with B and without B. So here if you remove B, you get only A, and here if you remove this B, you get epsilon. So we know now that Z is also generating epsilon. Now we have W is generating Z, A is generating AA slash A slash BA slash B, and we have capital B which is generating BA, so we have to write without B also, so it is small a. And then we have capital BB, so we have to write without capital B also, so it is small b. And then we have epsilon, and this is the production that we have removed. So now you can see that we have removed this epsilon from A and B. हमने दो जगह से हमने इसको remove किया है. Now we have to remove it from the third one also, which is Z. Now we know Z is generating epsilon, so wherever we have a Z, I am going to write it with Z and without Z. तो अब कैसे करेंगे? So S is generating XY and X is generating ZB. So without Z it will be small b. And Y is generating BW, so it will be W only. And then we have Z, which is generating AB slash B slash A slash epsilon. Now we have to remove this epsilon. तो इस epsilon को remove करने के लिए, so wherever we have a Z, so I'm going to write it with Z and without Z. And then we have A can generate AA slash small a slash BA slash B. And then we have B can generate BA slash A slash BB slash small b. Now we know after removing this, I know that one more term is now generating epsilon. तो ये जो term है, this term is also now generating epsilon, which is W can derive epsilon. So wherever we have write W, I have to write those terms with W and without W. So again you have to modify the same. Is it visible? क्या visible है? Oh, okay. So after this it won't be visible. So let me rub something. So now I have to remove epsilon from W also. So this will look something like this, which is S can derive XY, where X can derive ZB slash B, Y can derive BW slash W. So because we have to remove epsilon from W also, that means here I have to write both of these terms with B and without B, with W and without W. So it is B as well as we will get epsilon. So we know now Y is also generating epsilon. So we know Z is equal to AB slash B slash A. W is generating only Z. So A is generating AA slash small a slash BA slash B, and B is generating BA slash small a slash BB slash B. Okay. Now from this again you have a choice, because here Y is generating epsilon. So wherever we have Y, we have to write those terms with Y and without Y. So you have to change it again. So it is S can derive X and without Y, so XY. So X can derive ZB slash B. So Y is generating BW slash W slash B. And because we can remove epsilon from this, then we have Z can derive AB slash B slash A. And then we have W can derive Z. And then A can derive AA slash A slash BA slash B. And B can generate BA slash A slash BB slash B. So this is your entire grammar that you will get. This is the entire result that you will get from this given example. तो इस example से ये आपके पास ये पूरा result यहाँ पर आएगा. Okay? Clear है आपको? Now further you will see the lot of chances of improving this result. हम इस result को और भी improve कर सकते हैं by removing a unit production. But before that, let me show you how to do the same result directly from this. Instead of doing all these 4 steps, इन चारों steps को करने की जगह पर you can get the same result from this directly. आप same result को यहाँ से directly ले सकते हैं. So how will you do it the same thing from here? आप directly कैसे ले सकते हैं? तो first of all you are going to identify what are the nullable production. Nullable productions. Okay, so nullable productions means any production which is directly generating epsilon. So we know that A is a nullable production and this B is directly generating epsilon, so B is also a nullable production. So is there any right hand side of any production which is only made up of A and B? So you will see that right hand side of Z is only made up of A and B, so we say Z is also a nullable production. Is there any right hand side of any production which is only made up of these 3? So you will identify that here W is the right hand side of W is only made up of these 3. Okay, तो जो W की right hand side है उस इन तीनों से बनी है. Now is there any right hand side of any production which is only made up of these 4? तो क्या इन चारों से किसी की right hand side बनी है? So we know Y जो है उसकी right hand side में BW आता है, so we know that Y is also nullable. Now is there any right hand side which is only made up of these 5? So we already know this: A is nullable, B is nullable, W is nullable, Z is nullable, Y is nullable, and X is not nullable, and S is also not nullable. So in the same way, just like we have done the previous case, so what we have to do is we have to identify all those productions where the right hand side is only made up of nullable variables. So these productions, we know they can generate epsilon. So what I have to do is, wherever we have these productions, I have to write those productions with them and without them. So for example, here in S, so we can say S in X we have production which is XY, and here Y is nullable, so I have to write it with X, Y, and without Y. Then we have next production which is X. So here we know that Z is nullable, so we can say it is ZB/B. Now we know Y is nullable, so because Y is nullable, so the right hand side is BW. So with B and without B, with W and without W, so I have to write it this way. So it is BW, without B it will be W, without W it will be B. Now we have the next production which is Z. So the right hand side of Z is AB, so with A and without A, so it is AB/A/B. This is what we are going to get. Then we have ZW, so right hand side of W is Z, so I'm going to write it as it is, because I can also remove Z with epsilon. So but again here A can generate with A and without A, I have to write every production. So it is A/small a, and here BA/small b, and here we get B can generate BA/small a and BB/small b. So this way you will identify that directly from this you can get the same result. आप यहाँ से directly same result को लेकर आ सकते हैं. So if I have followed these steps, only to explain you that how this everything is working step by step, how you can get to the result. But after some practice I can I'll try and know, is there any shortcut that exists? So I know that there's shortcut that exists. What is that a shortcut? That we have to identify what are the nullable variables. So after identifying all the nullable variables, I can write every production with nullable variables and without nullable variables, so that I will get the same result. तो दोनों से आपको जो result है वो same मिलेगा. Clear है सबको? Any doubt so far? अब तक कोई doubt है? Is there any doubt so far? Good. Now from this still you will identify there are a lot of chance for simplification here. Why there's a chance of simplification? Because maybe here there will be some variables which are useless, right? So what we have done is we have seen removal of useless symbol and we have seen removal of epsilon production. So after removing these epsilon production, still can you identify is there any variable which is useless? क्या यहाँ पर कोई ऐसा variable है जो useless है? If you can identify that there is some variable which is useless, so obviously you can remove them. Okay. But again I leave it for your practice. You have to remove any useless variables from there. And again after removing the useless variables also there is a chance of improvement. So what is the chance of improvement? The chance of improvement says if we have any unit productions, you can remove those unit productions also. So we know how to remove useless symbols, we know how to remove epsilon productions. Now we have to remove unit productions also. Okay. So first of all I'll explain what exactly is a unit production. Then again I'll take some examples. Then you will be able to solve this example and you will be able to minimize this given grammar. तो अब इस grammar को minimize कर पाएंगे. Okay. So by the way, tomorrow we will be having a class from morning. We'll be having a class from 7 or 8 AM in the morning. I'll update you the timing कि हम सुबह 8 बजे से क्लास करेंगे, 7 बजे से क्लास करेंगे, because then I have to go somewhere in the evening. So in evening I'm not available. So we will be doing class early morning tomorrow. Okay. And secondly, so what I'll try to do is I'll try to finish the entire theory of computation tomorrow. कल का जो पूरा दिन है मैं उसमें from morning 7 or 8 AM till evening 4 PM I will finish the entire theory of computation. And then you can have your entire Sunday for practice purposes. तो कल जो आपके important topics है, even your decidability and computability, I'm going to cover those topics also. what is the decidability, what is computability. So you can attend tomorrow's class. That is going to be very, very important. So please tell your friends also कि कल की class miss ना करें. So tomorrow's class is going to be very, very important. Okay. So because what I want to do is tomorrow I will finish your syllabus. I will give you the entire Sunday for solving the previous year questions, and on Sunday we will not be having any class, and then on Monday, because a new subject is starting, and so what I am going to do is on Monday I am going to discuss my PYQ. So on Monday Naveen sir is starting his subject, so I will take previous year questions, that is my previous year questions from this subject. So you can take some time for yourself to solve the previous year question before I discuss them. So you can have Sunday off for practice and revision. Monday Naveen sir will start the subject. Sunday you will not be having any class with me. I will finish the subject tomorrow. Okay. So the last here is removal of unit productions. So removal of unit productions. Let me write it again, I guess. So we know it is unit productions. So what exactly is unit production? Unit production hota kya hai? First let us identify that. So what exactly is unit production? Let us assume that we have a production which is S derives A derives B, B derives C, C derives D, D derives E, E derives F, F derives G, G derives H, H derives I, and I derives small a. So basically this entire grammar is having so many productions, and the only thing that this grammar is generating is only one symbol, which is small a. This grammar is not doing anything meaningful. These productions are not doing meaningful things. They are just transferring control from one production to another production. Okay. So these productions, where on the left hand side we have exactly one variable, on the right hand side also we have exactly one variables, such kind of productions are called as unit productions. ऐसी production जिनकी left hand side पर exactly एक variable है और right hand side पर भी exactly एक variable है, उन productions को हम बोलते हैं यहाँ पर unit productions. Clear है सबको? What do you mean by unit production? Is it clear with all of you? Okay. So my job is, I want to remove these unit productions from our grammar, and after removing these unit production, I want to say that the meaning of the grammar should not change. अगर आप unit productions को remove करेंगे, then entire grammar should remain the same. The meaning of the grammar should not change. So let me give you some examples here. So again, I'm taking all the examples from the book itself. So it is S can derive 0a slash 1b slash capital C. A can derive 0s slash 00, and B can derive 1 slash a, and C can derive 0 1. This is your first example, and we have to remove unit productions from this. Okay. Remove all the unit productions from this given grammar. So first of all, identify what are the unit productions. So we have B is driving A, so it is a unit production. S is driving C, it is also unit production, right? So because on the right hand side, if you have only one variable and the left hand side is also one variable, then we call those productions are unit production. So here S is driving C is in unit production, and B is driving A is a unit production. So what I want to do is, if I'm going to remove such unit productions, then the meaning of the grammar should not change. That means if I remove this production, so I should not miss anything which this C was generating. So if I remove this one, so what I can do is I can say S can derive 0a slash 1b. If I remove this C, then I will not be able to generate 0 1. So I have to add 0 1 here. Okay. In the second production, we have A can derive 0s slash 00, and B can generate 1, but because B is generating capital A and capital A is generating these two strings, so that means if I remove capital A, so I will miss these two things, right? So I should say B can generate 0s slash 00. तो जो B है वो इनको जनरेट कर रहा है, and you have C which is equal to 0 1. Now we will know that there are no unit productions in the entire grammar. इस पूरी ग्रामर में कोई भी unit productions नहीं है. So after removing the unit productions, we will identify is there any symbol which is useless, I mean which is unreachable. क्या ऐसे कोई symbol है जो यहाँ पर reach नहीं हो सकता? You will see the symbol C is unreachable from any state, so I'm going to remove symbol C. Is there any other symbol which is unreachable? You will say that both S, A and B, all these three symbols are reachable. Therefore, this is the minimized grammar. तो ये जो grammar है ये आपकी minimized grammar रहेगी, ठीक है? So I can remove C from this. तो यहाँ पर मैं C को remove कर सकता हूँ. Let me take one more example here. So the example is as follows. We have S is deriving capital A slash 0C1, and then we have capital A is deriving capital B slash 01 slash 10, and we have capital C is deriving epsilon slash capital C D, and this is your grammar. So again from this grammar we have to remove this symbols which are null production, which are unit production. तो हमें यहाँ से unit productions को remove करना है. But before even removing the unit production, just try and see is there any symbol here which is useless, जिसको हमें कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है. So we'll see the symbol B is there. So let me again verify. Okay, so because the symbol B is not used anywhere in the example, so I have to remove symbol B first of all. I can remove this production. And secondly, in C is generating an epsilon, and again D is not nowhere, so D भी कहीं पर नहीं है, so I can remove these two because C and D are nowhere, so I have to remove these two first of all. So after removing these two, I will get a production which is S can derive capital A slash 0C1, and capital A is deriving 01 slash 10, and capital C is deriving epsilon. Now what I have to do is I have to remove epsilon productions also. Remove all the epsilon production. So we have this epsilon production, nullable production. Is there any right hand side which is made up of only C? No. So after removing this production, the grammar looks something like this. S can derive capital A slash 1, okay, and 0C, but again C can be removed by epsilon, so it is 01 only. So A can derive 01 slash 10. Now again, now you have to check whether there is any unit productions or not. So S is driving capital A, which is a unit production. I can remove this unit production. So after removing this unit production, you will get a grammar which is S can derive 01 slash 10 slash 01, and this 01 is already there, so that is 01 slash 10 you can write, and A can derive 01 slash 10, but again 01 is already done, so I can remove it. So this entire grammar can be replaced by S can derive 01 slash 10. So जो पूरी ग्रामर है वो 01 और 10 स्ट्रिंग को ही जनरेट कर रही है. So this way I can remove the unit productions. तो इस तरीके से आप unit productions को remove कर सकते हैं. So let me take more examples here. तो मैं कुछ और examples लेता हूँ. I hope that you guys are able to understand all of this. अगर कोई भी doubt है, you can always ask me your doubt. Is there any doubt so far? Okay, so let me take one more example. Instead of taking many examples, I will take just one more example for this. So the example is like this. S can derive AB, where capital A can derive small a, capital B can derive capital C slash small b, C can derive D, D can derive E slash capital small b, capital C, E can derive small d slash AB. This is your given grammar. Okay, तो ये आपके पास grammar है, and we have to minimize this grammar. So to perform the minimization, again identify is there any unit productions, क्या यहाँ पर कोई unit production है या फिर नहीं है. So you will see C is deriving D, it is a unit production. B is deriving C, it is also a unit production. D is deriving E, it is also a unit production. तो ये आपके पास सभी unit productions है. So what I want to know is if I remove these productions, then I should not miss anything that I will generate. Okay, so from S I can generate AB, both, this is not a unit production. A is generating small a, it is also not a unit production. तो ये दोनों आपकी unit productions नहीं है. Now B is generating small b, that is not a problem. The problem is if I remove C, then I will not be able to generate D. And if I not be able to generate D, I will not be able to generate E. So if I will not be able to generate E and BC, so I have to add both BC here as well as this E here, and if I remove this E, I will not be able to generate small d, A and B. So I have to add all those things that I will not be able to generate if I remove this production. अगर मैं इसको remove करता हूँ तो ऐसी कौन कौन सी चीज़ें हैं जो मैं generate नहीं कर पाऊँगा. So I have to write all of them here. Now from here, C is driving D, I can remove this production. D is deriving E, I can remove this production. So I get D driving BC. Now E is driving small d slash AB. So this is something that we have. Now in this case again you can see that so finally if D drives E, if I remove this production, so then I will not be able to generate this small d slash AB. And secondly, I have removed B drive C, but if I remove C drive D, so C will not be able to generate what? C क्या generate नहीं कर पाएगा? C will not be able to generate D, and this C will not be able to generate BC, as well as it will not be able to generate D slash AB. So we have to check what are the things I will not be able to generate if I remove certain productions. So what I have done is I have removed 3 epsilon productions here. The first epsilon production is B drive C. तो अगर आप B से C को remove करेंगे, so these are the things that will not be able to generate. Second is C drive D. अगर आप इसको remove करेंगे, तो the things that will not be able to generate are these. अगर आप D drives E को remove करेंगे, so the things that will not be able to generate is small d AB as well as small d AB as well as this BC, right? So and E drives, this is not a problem. Now you have to identify, is there any unreachable symbol here? क्या कोई unreachable symbol है? So we will identify E is not E is an unreachable symbol. E को आप कहीं तक नहीं पहुंच सकते कहीं से भी, as well as D is also an unreachable symbol. So after removing these unreachable symbol, you get S can derive AB, where A can derive small a, B can derive B slash BC slash small d slash AB, and here C can derive BC slash small d slash AB. So these are things that you will not be able to generate. I can add them here. Okay. So further there is some chances of minimization, but again I am leaving it here because this is a simplified form. तो मैं इसको यहीं पर छोड़ रहा हूँ. But again there are more chances of simplification here. But I hope that you understood this entire thing. So this is your minimized grammar. ये जो आपकी grammar है, this is your minimized. After removing this unit productions, तो unit productions को remove करने के बाद this is something that you will get. Clear है सबको so far? Any doubt so far? Okay. So is there any order through which we have to follow these things? मतलब क्या कोई order exist करता है that you have to remove useless production first, then you have to remove epsilon production first, then you have to remove unit production first? So ऐसा कोई order नहीं है. Okay. So ऐसा कोई order नहीं है, so that is why we are not following that order. So what you are saying is, Pratibha, if B drives C is moved, then S drives AB can add BC as well as AB in the start, right? So I can do that. So whatever you are saying, I can also do that. But the thing is, I have already added those things here in B. मतलब मैंने उनको already B में add कर दिया है. So I'm not disturbing S. Right, so you are saying if B drives C is removed, then S drives AB, we can add BC and AB. Yes, you can do that. You can. There's still a chance of minimization here. But again, as I said, what I'm doing is I'm just moving these B drives C, right? So I have to add these things that C will generate. I have to add here, right? So in the same way, there are a lot of choices. There are a lot of things that you can even do. You can even say that I can remove B from here. So you have to write these things there. Right, so entire B can also be removed. In the same way, I can say I have to remove A from here, so this A can be replaced by small a. So further there are a lot of chances. So what I'm trying to say here is I can also change this entire this way, which is S can derive AB, right? So instead of A, I can write small a, so I can make it small a B, and instead of B, if I remove B, so I will not be able to generate these things, so I have to add these things over there. तो आप इसको और भी स्मॉल कर सकते हैं, बट अगेन देयर इज नो पॉइंट ऑफ दैट, देयर इज नो बेनिफिट ऑफ दैट, राइट. तो आप इसको अगर इसको यहाँ से इसको भी रिमूव करेंगे, सो व्हाट यू कैन डू हियर इज दैट इंस्टेड ऑफ बी यू कैन राइट बी, यू कैन राइट ए बी सी, यू कैन राइट a d, you can write a b, and further by this you can remove this production and you can remove this production also. So wherever you have a, so just write the value of a, so we get c drives bc slash d slash, instead of a I can write small a b. So further you can also do it, but there's no benefit, right? So I don't want to do it, right, because I just wanted to remove the unit productions. I do not want to remove even further simplify it. So I can simplify it, but there's no benefit. So I just need to do three things in simplifications. First is removal of useless productions, removal of epsilon production, and third is removal of unit productions. I hope all of you understood my whatever we have covered till now. I hope आप सभी को समझ आया होगा. Any doubts? Good. So this was our first session. So this session was supposed to be 1 hour and 30 minutes, but again we covered in 1 hour and 20 minutes. So in the first session we covered simplification of context free grammar. In the next session we will be covering your Chomsky normal form, which is CNF, and the second one will be Greibach normal form, which is GNF. तो second session में हम CNF और GNF को discuss करेंगे, and then in the third session maybe we will be able to start Turing machine. तो third session में हम लोग आज Turing machine को भी start कर पाएंगे. So today we are going to cover a lot of important topics. ठीक है? So let's take a break now, and you can have lunch, and after the break I will also update you the timing. So most probably the timing will be from 2:30 PM. तो timing जो है वो 2:30 तक के आसपास रहेगी. So you can take a break and then we can continue, I guess, right?